Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, which is part one of the family room remodeling series, I am installing 4 drawers into one of the bookshelf units. It used to have 2 doors with 1 shelf, and now I'm turning it into an entertainment center. I'll have a pull-out shelf for my turntable, a pull-out shelf for the receiver, and 2 pull-out drawers for albums on the bottom. If you want to see how I did it, stay tuned. So this is the family room where I'm doing the work. That's what it used to look like with my receiver and turntable on the left-hand side on top of the unit. There you can see the shelves are taken out and the big heavy oak doors that used to be on there. I had stacked my albums, as you can see, on top of each other inside on that shelf and wrecked that. So I was looking for something that would be more user-friendly for us. Those are the albums up on top now of the cabinet as I'm painting the brick a nice white. And that's what the finished fireplace looks like now, although the cabinets still need to be finished with a top coat of paint. I'll be working on this cabinet right here, installing a partition wall inside the carcass that will attach to the face frame. On the other side is where we keep our printer, and next to that I'll be having a subwoofer with a pull-out drawer there. So the first thing first, get some measurements and hope I can find a piece of scrap plywood down in the basement that will fit. Luckily I have a bunch of that stuff laying around, and this one only needed to be trimmed just a little bit for it to fit perfectly. So I set the saw up and then clumsily sawed it down to its final size, wearing my airplane landing headphones, which I've been made fun of from friends. Then it was over to the Craig station, where I put 9 holes in it that I can attach to the floor of the base cabinet, the top of the cabinet that goes into the solid oak, and the face frame on the front. 9 holes in total. Back upstairs, not tripping on the cat scratcher boxes there on the left, and falling into the cabinet. It's always good when you have a bad back to reach into a cabinet. Luckily for myself, I didn't re-injure anything. And here I'm just trying to pull it as flush as I can to the face frame before attaching it. I realized I needed my level to make sure that it was plumb. And then I brought up my carpenter square to make sure it was square on the top and bottom, front and rear, all sides. It's always good to have that. Even though this is a warped piece of plywood, I was able to get it pretty close to perfectly square. Now I was doing this at 2:30 in the morning directly beneath my bedroom, and luckily I did not wake anybody up in the house. After securing the bottom, I had to square up the top, so I used my hand hammer, which everyone has, and I was able to get that all squared up as well. And this video brought to you by none of those people on my back, so don't bother looking any of them up. Here I'm just securing the top, and that was that for getting that installed. Before I could do anything else though, I had laundry to do. And when you're up at 2 in the morning and there's a basket full of laundry, you get that stuff done. My kids think it's an elf that does it, but here in the instant replay you can actually see it is me doing the laundry. After a quick laundry break, it was back to it. I was measuring here for pieces of wood that I can mount drawer slides to. I would then take my measurements down to the shop and get on my hands and knees one more time and dig through a bunch of stock I have underneath the assembly table. I found a couple that would work right away that just needed to be shortened, and some I can then rip in half and make 2 boards out of 1 piece. So back over to the miter station, dialed in my measurements, didn't like the way this board was sitting, forgot to turn on the vacuum, flip it over, ready to cut. Started cutting all the pieces to the proper length before I will then be taking the wider piece over to the table saw, where I will be throwing dust onto my drum set, which is in the back and our workout area. So I'm hoping to, in the next few weeks, maybe 5 or 6 weeks, build a few walls around the shop and get my whole shop air purifier set up and eliminate some of the small dust particles. Right after ripping that piece, I was back at opening up these slides. I bought them online last year. I don't have the link for them. They were pretty cheap. they seem to be doing all right so far. So then I transferred the slides over to the blocks of wood where I marked them, drilled and countersunk the holes, so when I put them in, the screw heads would sit flush and beneath the drawer slides themselves. Back upstairs to the cabinet, getting my steps in for the day. I put a 1/4-inch piece of stock underneath the slide to get it up off the bottom of the cabinet, and then make sure it's level, of course. And of course I did this on each side. For some reason I'm showing you all 4 of the ones that I put in. I then made some spacers to put the top ones in above them, which was pretty easy. Here I'm working around a cable that comes up from the basement that for some reason I didn't take out at the time. It's now gone. And after securing these, this is what it looks like. The top right is where the turntable goes. It just fits in there. I got a rubber mat to put on there to eliminate some vibration. Below that I have one of the album drawers with a Ace Frehley solo album in it, just for reference. I'll need that when I make my face frame drawer fronts. This is where the receiver is going to go, and below it another album pullout. So I'll put another album in there so I can measure the distance for the drawer fronts that I'll be making soon. Well, that's it for now, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for future videos, and have a great day.